LeBron James now is saying publicly, yeah, I'm looking at MJ. I'm looking at Jordan. I think about it. It's a goal of mine.
Right.
And you're okay with it.
What else should he look at? That's the only mountain left to climb. And if we're being fair about LeBron, if we just stack up both of their careers at this age, 3 rings to 3 rings, 4 MVPs for LeBron to 3 for Jordan at age 31. LeBron more points, rebounds, assists. LeBron 7 times in the finals. Jordan 3 times in the finals at this age. And people dismiss it. This is an interesting thought exercise. If you're driving around in your car listening right now, if LeBron were 3-0 in the finals and said, I want to be Michael, you probably would say, okay, yeah, okay. I am more willing to entertain that idea if he were 3-0, which just means we're penalizing him for advancing in the playoffs.
Of course.
Like, if the year he lost to the Spurs in 2007, if the Pistons had knocked him out, if the year they lost to the Mavericks, if the Celtics had knocked him out, if the year they lost to the Spurs, if they had been knocked down in the Eastern Conference semifinals or Eastern Conference finals and he were 3-0, then people would say, okay, yeah, then maybe you can be Michael. The idea that he's penalized for making the finals a bunch of times is absurd. So if LeBron finishes his career with, call it 5 rings and 11 appearances, you want to make the argument that that's better than 6 rings and 6 appearances? You certainly can make it. I mean, Magic Johnson, I don't know what's more impressive about Magic, that he won it 5 times or that he got there 9 times.
Michael was favored in every finals. LeBron's been an underdog in 5 of 6.
And I hear people say, well, the East is so weak, the East is so weak. It is now a decade that LeBron's dominated the East.
That's right.
And it's not so much, I understand the Western Conference is the stronger conference, but the reason we think the East is a foregone conclusion is because of LeBron. Like, if LeBron's not there, then we're like, oh, wow, the East, it's up for grabs. People act like it is a cakewalk, but it's because LeBron's so great. You go, he's in Cleveland, they're the best team in the East. He goes to Miami, they're the worst team. He goes from Miami to Cleveland. Miami doesn't make the playoffs. Cleveland's the best team. I mean, who else is LeBron supposed to chase? I'm not saying he's necessarily going to get there, but at this age of his life, at age 31, he's done more than Michael did at age 31. And people say, well, Jordan retired for 2 years. No, he didn't. Jordan retired for a year and a half, came back, was good enough to score 55 in the Garden 3 games in, and then got his ass kicked by the Orlando Magic. And to get knocked out, when people are like, oh, they would have won 8 in a row. What do you mean they would have won 8 in a row? Michael Jordan played in those games. I know the NBA's burned the tapes, but it happened. And so let's say, if we're just recreating history, let's say Jordan was brilliant in that Magic Bulls series. He wasn't, but let's say he was. And they beat the Magic. And then Akeem and the Rockets beat the Bulls. To me, that would have been more impressive than what happened. Oh, wow. How can people make the argument that 6 for 6 is this amazing thing as opposed to 6 for 7? What you're saying is losing to the Magic was more impressive than beating them and then losing in the next round. It's a logical fallacy, and it frustrates me.